So Stephen Curry, one of the greatest players of all time, has almost admitted defeat. And I actually have so much respect for it. And you're seeing it with the Warriors. Like, I have so much respect for Kerr, for Draymond, for Steph, for this attitude. Because there are so many superstars, like a Jimmy Butler, like a LeBron, like a Kevin Durant, that want their franchise to ruin the next 10 years just so that they can have the best end to their season possible. And of all of those players, if any of them deserves the franchise to make some like moves that will screw them in the future, it is Stephen Curry. He's a one franchise guy. He's won 4 rings. He is, in my opinion, the greatest player of all time to only play with one franchise. Yes, I've got Stephen Curry ahead of Magic Johnson and Kobe. But, yeah, I'll put him ahead of Duncan too. I'm that high on Steph Curry. And if you guys agree, heck, if you guys disagree, subscribe. We're trying to hit 9,050 subscribers by the end of the day, and we're 7 off. But everybody's saying the Warriors need to go all in. They need to get some help around Steph. They need to kind of mortgage their future. And I always thought where it's like, their plan was never going to work. We're going to like seamlessly go from the Steph Curry era, and then we're going to have our new era with like Kuminga and all these players. And like, it was never going to be good in that era. But at the same time, these are players that could genuinely be could be good pieces on a decent team. But it's listening to this from Brian Windhorst. If you haven't heard, like, Steph Curry said the same, Draymond said the same, and Steve Kerr's even said the same. I probably won't be around, but I'll tell you, if this organization gave away the next 6 or 7 drafts for a wild swing, to be the most irresponsible thing they could do. All these quote mans is sad. Steph's gonna go out like Kobe the last few years. The reality is there's no move that will win. I genuinely think I could see Stephen Curry spending. I think him and Draymond and Steve Kerr are all going to go up into the front office. I think Steph Curry, I don't know if he's going to take an executive job or maybe just be an advisor. Maybe he'll just be like almost an ambassador for the Warriors. I don't see him ever leaving that. I think Draymond Green's going to do something similar to end his career. I think they might be just one team guys even after that. But the Golden State Warriors are 19 and 20. Even if they do make a splash, they're going to have to give up a ton of assets. They're going to have to give up Wiggins. They're going to have to give up Kuminga. They're going to have to give up a bunch of assets to, at best, get to where the Lakers are right now. And like, the Lakers don't have that many future picks. The Suns don't have a future, period. Like, they don't have a future, period. They looked into the fact that Ryan Dunn was still there on the draft board, so they have at least a good young player. But if you're the Warriors, like, people are like, oh, if they want to go out like Kobe. I'm sorry, Steph Curry's 100 times better than Kobe was in his last year. It's just a fact. It's a fact. Kobe Bryant, post-Achilles injury, was one of the worst players. No, sorry. I'm not going to say one of the worst players. He was one of the worst high-volume players in the NBA. And in his last season, might have been statistically the worst player in the NBA. But the reason why he was statistically the worst player in the NBA was nobody was watching that Lakers for anything other than the retirement tour. So everyone wanted to watch Kobe. Didn't matter if he took 50 shots, they wanted to watch Kobe drop 60. Like, that's still the most shots anyone's ever taken in an NBA game. But let's take a listen to Brian Windhorst right here.
I've never heard an interview like this from a player in mid-season. Yeah. Now, I'm going to try to point out that it was a cold January Monday night in Toronto, and maybe we shouldn't take declarations into too much account there. But on the other hand, those stages of loss, it sounds like Steph Curry is at acceptance stage, because he was talking. To me, I can't say for sure what conversations he's had with their front office, but my belief would be he has communicated that to them as well, that, there's no reason for you to go chasing something to fix a team that maybe it would be a desperate move. And that is going to reverberate. And this is so unusual for a star player to say. LeBron operates and has for decades exactly the opposite. He says, Trade the 2031 first-round pick. I don't care about that. This is Steph talking about leaving the franchise better than he found it. guess what? You're leaving the franchise better than you found it, I promise you. And if anything, it's the franchise that owes him the last couple of years of his career. So this was a remarkable interview on a lot of fronts.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you, when you listen to him talk like that, it makes you wonder that the Warriors, who've been sniffing around a star player since last summer, that instead of doing that, they may do the opposite and make a trade to save money because they're not far away from the luxury tax, because it sounds like they've got Steph's sign-off on it. So this was truly a remarkable moment in the season. I've never heard it.
Yeah, like that's such an interesting one to see. And like, I have to respect Steph Curry so much for that. Like, he's just like, look, there's no move we could make that gives us a chance. So let's just run it. Let's just run it. Like, you can, like, giving us trading for Zach LaVine, we're still not going to win. Trade for Jimmy, we're not. To be fair, I'd say if Jimmy Butler was available and he wasn't such a head case, maybe they would consider that, considering the level of basketball Jimmy Butler plays at. He's a head case. So, like, it's not quite as easy when it comes to Jimmy. But you've now got a situation where you can go one of two ways. The Warriors can be, in 3 years' time, the worst team in the NBA without any other picks, and they could screw it just so that they could get Steph Curry another potential playoff spot, and they could make the playoffs anyway. They could make the playoffs anyway with or without that trade. And I think Steph's probably thinking, you know what? I'm still Steph Curry. We've still got Draymond, and we can figure this out and make a push for the playoffs. And I think that would be something that the Warriors could do, and it's something that the Warriors maybe should honestly try to stick with. And it's kind of refreshing to see a superstar not try to destroy the future of their team to make them happy. And as a Heat fan, seeing what's going on with Jimmy, like, man, imagine if Jimmy just ran it back. Like, the Heat are way closer, by the way. They are way closer to winning a championship than people think. They're way closer. Like, the Heat could mess about and get out East again. But yeah, it's just a really, really interesting one. And still, it'll be over soon, unfortunately, the Golden State Warriors. And look, the better the Warriors are, the better it is for basketball. But like, they're 19-20 now. They just lost to the tanking Raptors. The Golden State Warriors window is about to close right now. And like, it's very interesting that he doesn't want to destroy his team. Because I have a weird feeling Steph Curry is going to go straight. Like, he's probably, as much as anything, a fan of the team now. And I think he's going to go straight into a job where he's working for the team. And he doesn't want to have to work for a Warriors team that just sucks. That could be the case. Anyway, I'll see you guys.